Welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Alex Michelson. Joining us this week, Andrew Yang on the presidential race, a new ballot proposition he's leading in California that would regulate big tech in a big way. Plus, John Cox. He ran for governor in 2018. Rumors are he'll run again in 2022. He's joining us to break some news here. Plus, Marcellus Wiley of Fox Sports, a Compton native, Ivy League grad, former NFL All-Pro, with a surprising take on Black Lives Matters and athletes and activism. The Issue Is starts right now.
Broadcasting across California, California's only statewide political show. You're watching The Issue Is.
And welcome to The Issue Is. I'm Alex Michelson, and welcome to our newest affiliate this week, ABC Central Coast. Hello to everyone in Monterey, Salinas. It is great to have you with us. Our first guest this week is a familiar face around here. Andrew Yang went from complete unknown to viral sensation during an unlikely and unforgettable presidential campaign. He's now hosting the Yang Speaks podcast, running the Humanity Forward nonprofit, and he's helping to lead the effort to pass Proposition 24 here in California. It is focused on protecting your data that you post online. Andrew Yang, welcome back to The Issue Is. Great to see you.
Great to see you too, Alex. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll talk about Proposition 24 in a second, but let's begin with the presidential race. This week you tweeted out, make no mistake, it's tough to defeat an incumbent. How do you see the race right now?
Joe and Kamala have a lead that's consistent throughout the country and is consistent even in the swing states. But as I said, it is tough to beat an incumbent. That's doubly true at a national level in a presidential race. And one of the big question marks, Alex, is how are our votes going to be counted and when will we know the results? Make sure that you know where to go or where to send the ballot in, because we want to try and have a result as quickly as possible for the American people, hopefully on election night.
Let's talk for a moment about young people, because that was really at the center of your whole race. You had this online army known as the Yang Gang. You spoke to them with a pretty authentic voice in social media. I'm not sure if Joe Biden himself has ever actually written a social media post. Clearly, his staffers are putting up his posts.
Joe's campaign has been making use of surrogates like me to reach young people where they are on Instagram and the other social media platforms. But the reality is that Joe's appeal is broader and beyond the internet. It's one reason why he's our nominee.
So it sounds like your basic point is Joe doesn't necessarily need to be in that space.
Well, I mean, Joe is Joe, you know, it's like trying to throw him on Twitter and Instagram. It wouldn't be authentic to him. And people would sense that. Voters can sense when something is natural for a candidate and when it's forced.
All right, well, let's talk about something else that you are working on here in California. It's called Proposition 24. You say this could really be a model for the rest of the country when it comes to big tech and regulating that. Can you explain in basic terms what Proposition 24 actually does?
Proposition 24 sees to it that your data and privacy rights are yours. And California has been the leader on this, Alex. They passed the CCPA in 2018, and this is trying to build upon that earlier law and elevate the protections for Californians so that you can opt out of geo-targeting so they can't tell where you are, that if they negligently handle your data, you actually can bring some kind of suit against them. And there's a new data protection agency envisioned in this law that's actually going to be working just on people's data and privacy rights. So this is a major step forward. And you know that it's a good thing because a lot of the tech companies don't like it. Let's put it in very simple terms.
And not only the big tech companies, but folks on the left and the right. Labor leader Dolores Huerta, she's against this. The ACLU against this. Some more conservative editorial boards like the Orange County Register against this, saying that there are loopholes in it and that we don't really need another government bureaucracy. What do you say to those critics?
Well, what I'd say to Californian voters is what's happening to your data right now. Do you think that the tech companies and the data brokers are looking out for you? And Prop 24 is a way to activate people's data rights so that there's actually a watchdog working on your behalf, where right now there is nobody.
Another issue you are so passionate about supporting, of course, is the issue of universal basic income, what you call the freedom dividend. This was the center of your campaign, $1,000 a month for every American. Well, now local mayors across the country, actually launching pilot programs to do it. Here in California, Stockton Mayor Michael Tubbs has been doing it for some time now. Just this week, we spoke to Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia about his efforts. Take a look.
Having a guaranteed income, particularly for low-income folks and workers, is going to be important in the future.
I'm sure the Yang Gang is now all following you. That's quite the online army out there as well.
We love the Yang Gang.
The Yang Gang and I are thrilled that mayors like Mayor Garcia are leading the charge in implementing universal basic income trials in their communities. Over 20 mayors around the country have agreed that we need to have universal basic income to address the problems in their communities. So thank you, Mayor Garcia, for being a leader in this movement. And you can see it's sweeping the country like wildfire, Alex. There was a poll that came out a couple weeks ago that said that 55% of all Americans believe that we should have a universal basic income in perpetuity.
A member of the Yang Gang just happens to be one of our guests this week, Marcellus Wiley of Fox Sports, former NFL All-Pro. He campaigned with you. What did he mean to your campaign to have the support of somebody like him?
I told Marcellus, Alex, I'm a member of the Wiley Gang. I mean, Marcellus is such a class act and role model, not just with his athletic endeavors, but his philanthropy, his activism. He and I both went to Columbia, and so we had that in common. He's a great family man. I was thrilled to have his support, and I'm a huge fan of his.
We wanted to bring you two together. Marcellus, why are you a Yang Gang person?
To say it in short, it's just I'm a humanitarian. I look at human beings for not only their greatness, but their concise expression of who they are and what they stand for. And Andrew Yang just did that for me, made me overtly support him, which I've never done for a presidential candidate. Despite voting through many cycles and elections, I never had that much passion and respect for a human being a politician. So I believed in the person before even the policies, and the policies certainly made me more excited for supporting Andrew Yang. And I look forward to him trying to jump into this race still, but if not 2024, certainly I'm Yang Gang.
Andrew, how's that feel when you hear that?
It feels tremendous because I look up to Marcellus. I also literally look up to him because he's a very imposing figure.
He is
I love it. It's so funny. Which one of us looks like we ran for president before?
This is a very good-looking shot, and I feel like you two actually fit that presidential profile maybe better than this guy right here. So, if someone was just tuning into this photo, they'd be like, I have a feeling those guys were the presidential candidates.
Oh, no. Well, Marcellus, we're going to see you a little bit later on in the show. Andrew Yang, we love having you here. Republican John Cox is up next. But before we go, we love to play music on this show. And so we've got a music video created by a member of the Yang Gang called Voygent on YouTube. It shows videos of you on the campaign trail with your signature song. Let's bring it in. There it is. Yeah, this is the chance to bring the song back. A little Return of the Mac, the coolest campaign song any candidate had.
Yeah, that's it. Here.
Andrew Yang, thank you so much.
That's it.
Great to have you here. We'll see you in a bit, Marcellus.
My man.
Thank you, Alex.